Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Heckerland Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Odgen, thank you for your very generous donation. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
And now live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. It is the Sunday evening Masterclass now. Our chief instructor, best-selling author, and lecturer, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning.
Hey, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Sunday evening Masterclass with Dr. Charlette. Hello, Pastor Michael Mangus. How are you?
Oh, you want me back in the stream, huh?
He's hiding in that bunker in an undisclosed location, deep within the confines of. We can't tell you where.
We can't. No.
And not disclose the location.
You know where it's at.
I know where it is, but I'm not telling.
No. You're under secrecy. So.
A DNA, a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, an NDA. Yeah.
NDA. What did I say? Yeah. DNA.
Yeah, it's an NDA. Yeah.
Well, how are you?
I'm good. We're wherever that you're at here in the country, man, we're getting
did you get hammered?
We're getting partly cloudy. We got 17 inches last weekend.
Last week.
Last week. So anyhow, I know that they're digging out of snow with their nor'easter up in New York City, and also New England states are getting pretty hit. But no, we're doing quite well here. And
if these folks only knew that, the energy of the planet is reflecting the nature of its inhabitants. So I said, if you guys would just stay in and be still and know that I am God, some of this stuff may not be happening. It's just like God some kind of way got to keep us, freeze us, or keep us into some form of meditation or stillness, because left to our own devices, we're doing some crazy stuff,
Well, it's the weather here. It's been very interesting. Yeah. And I've seen down in down Florida, some of my New Thought friends, they have on their parkas and their big hats, and it's like 45 degrees outside. And I'm going, that's, compared to what we have here, we have sub-zero temperatures here.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. People are not, it's interesting because you look at the places where weather is being extremely affected, and it seems to be in some of those places that are not behaving themselves in kind of like an honorable way. But I don't want to get into the politics of it. I know that's your spot. So I don't want to impose or go into
you can
what's
go
going
into any subject you
in
want.
Florida. I know,
Florida,
but
no,
in
Texas,
we're
not going to go there.
We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
hey, who do you have on tonight? Who's your
I'm
guest?
really excited because, last Sunday we talked to Gordon and Novella. I want to say Keyler. She'll correct me. I've been calling him Keyler all these many years, and it's Keyler, or she'll correct me when she comes on. But I was so excited talking to them. And Gordon is the minister. Reverend Gordon is the minister at the Unity Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he's been one of my top three. Jack Boland had his top three. I got my top three. And you and Michael and Gordon. Gordon was the first one to bring me to New Mexico. I had never been to New Mexico before. And I just fell in love in the place and fell in love with him and his family, who just became my family. It was so funny because here I am with all these white people. I'm the only Black person with all these white people, and these people trying to figure out who this child belong to. She is, and we just went everywhere together. So it was we have had a relationship that has transcended many, 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 many years, and I'm so happy to have him on. But Gordon told you his story last week and how he had to leave New Mexico in order to go find his wife. So he went to Joplin, Missouri, and where he met and married his wife. And then, of course, he was called back to Albuquerque, and now they are a ministerial couple at the Unity Church in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And what Novella is doing, she is doing the Dream Builder program and the Life Mastery program with Mary Morrissey, who I have known forever and a day. When I worked for Marianne Williamson, I got to know Mary Morrissey. I've been through Mary's Dream Builder program and what have you. So when Novella was telling me about being a part of that, I allowed her to kind of tease in last week. And that I convinced her to come back and go a little bit deeper and wider. My philosophy has always been, I believe in coaches, and I believe in coaching. And I think that everybody needs a coach and everybody needs to coach. So I've had a coach for many, many, many years. And I've been fortunate enough to have, Marianne Williamson as one of my coaches. Ian Levon's aunt was one of my coaches. I've had the privilege of sitting at the feet with some of the most incredible people in the world. I've gone through Tony Robbins' coaching program with strategic intervention with Chloe Mondanas. So people will say to me, Reverend Manning, I want to do what you do. And I said, well, my first question is, what do I do? And they will say to me, oh, you help people. And I say, okay, yeah. Okay, I help people, but it's more to it than helping people. It's more guiding, directing, like a football coach. You give them the place, but they got to run the ball. But along the way that you're able to work with, coordinate, mold, and get people on a track where, the quarterback is not running interference for the wide receiver or whatever. Your lane, where your niche is, and that how you can go about doing that out in the world. For those people that want to help people, you got to find out what your niche is and how you do that. And that's what the Dream Building program is really great about in the Life Mastery program. And it works with several different components. And I don't want to step on Novella's toes, because I want her to be able to explain this in a way that our listeners could possibly decide whether they want to or need to be a coach or to be coached. So Novella has said that she would offer a consult to any of our listeners. that they can help her navigate through where they are in terms of what it is that they actually want to do. So when people ask me or tell me they want to do what I do, I say, are you willing? Are you willing to invest the time, the energy? And yes, coaching ain't free, but neither is your life's work. And I often say people, oh, I don't want, should we have to pay for something? When you are making an offering into the world, you need to have your time, your talent, and your treasure reciprocated. So we talk about this all the time. People think that working for the Lord, you're supposed to work for free, but if you read any of the work on Catherine Ponder or any of those, they are constantly telling you Jesus was not broke. And Jesus lived, I mean, he didn't live an opulent life as we know, but Jesus he had to have, them 12 people had assignments. They had jobs. You had advanced teams where they had to go and set up housing and food and all this other stuff. When Jesus was on this ministry, he just didn't show up. So this is kind of what Novella will be able to offer our guests tonight if they are interested or thinking about becoming a coach, or if they actually need to be coached. So they've got an incredible program, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about that.
And I wanted to say that, I'm one of those people, again, that didn't think that they needed a coach or coaching. And I'm so grateful for my ministerial coach someone who I have a relationship with. And I tell you what, again, it's with him, it's a 50-minute hour. It's a clinical hour.
Yeah.
And we get down to business pretty quickly. So it's, I think coaching is absolutely wonderful. And I even heard a longtime minister at the conference saying, well, I didn't think I needed one, but again, now I do. So if anybody needs coaching, it's, the people who do the coaching, people who go out there and that do the counseling and the other activities. Because let me tell you something. My coach has been absolutely wonderful. I just wanted to put that in there. So,
oh no, absolutely. And I think it's important for people to think that, come back, Michael, come back. I think it's important for people to know and understand that, we just don't, we have our issues too, and that this work is not an easy work. And when you make a commitment to do this kind of work, when we are out in the world, literally out in the world, that we need to be able to lead, guide, and direct, based on our own life experience, as a middle-aged Black woman. Even though I was 71 years old, I keep saying that's middle age. That ain't old age. I'm not surrendering to the senior yet. But I'm saying that the older that I get, the more I realize how much I do need to stay on point. And my coach keeps me on point, because I'd be over here running the ball instead of throwing the ball. I'm all over the place trying to adapt. And a coach just kind of keeps you in that.
And I think also in ministry, I think what we're seeing here is there was a poll done recently, about 1/3 of all Protestant ministers are thinking about leaving. 1/3 after COVID.
Wow.
And I'm thinking that, and I can only talk for myself, that whatever is out there in my ministry that I don't like are areas that I need to take a look at. Again, for me, I know that it's very important to constantly work on myself, but also, again, if it's showing up in my ministry, then for me, I need to be working on it. And I think that's one of the reasons why people leave, or they go ahead and they get a professorship or something else. Nothing wrong with that. But again, working with people, what that does is that brings out in you not only the best, but also, some areas that, again, that I think that you need
Your
to work on.
issues.
So, your issues.
Your
Oh.
issues. And that's what I mean. The Course in Miracles teaches us that, the universe, whenever you conspire to do anything in the world, the universe is going to send you every opportunity to be able to do that. When I was in Ramtha school, they used to call them runners. Ramtha said, I'm going to send you, you think you're ready for this? You think you can do this? You think you know how to do this? I'm going to send you a runner to see if in fact you can. Just like, God said to Evan's wife and Evan Almighty, when you ask God for courage, God is going to give you everything that requires you to be courageous. So, we are living in a world right now of cause. And we are the effects of this cause now is going to determine the next century in this. If the world continues, we may be going back to the ice age. I don't know, but it definitely, we are headed to hell in a handbasket, as my grandmother would say, if we don't shift some perspective. But I want to spend some time with Novella, and I want her to be able to explain the importance and the significance. And for anybody out there that doesn't have a coach, and anybody out there that is thinking about endeavoring into this world we call growth and development, this is an opportunity for you to touch base with someone, or at least to give yourself an opportunity to be able to talk to someone that is in a program. Life Mastery is a wonderful program, and it is something that I think that all of us can benefit from. I spent a weekend with Mary, and I tell you, she's a fireball, and I really, really enjoyed the things that we did there. So we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to come back with our delightful guest, Miss Novella Keyler, here on Sunday Evening Masterclass with Dr. Charlette on the New Thought Media Network.
Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
And welcome back. I am delighted to introduce to you again tonight my new sister friend. She is married to my brother friend, and she is going to be joining us live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Good evening, Novella. How are you?
Good evening.
Good. It's so good to have you. So I got Keyler.
You're right. It's Keyler.
Banging it in my head. I said all these years I've been calling him Gordon Keyler. Okay.
I resisted it too, but it's like Cheyenne. Chey is the long. So
yeah,
it's Keyler.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I got it for the moment. I'm reprogramming, and this is one of the great things. I mean, this is a great segue from being able to change something that you thought once was right, because I say there is a big difference between a belief and a truth. Yeah. And I believed that I was pronouncing his name correctly, when in fact I was the truth was I wasn't. So I think, this just kind of segues us into this coaching program. And as you probably heard, Michael and I were talking about the importance and the significance in being coached and having a coach, or being a coach and being coached. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've always felt that you can't really be a coach until you've actually been coached.
I have
So
never been coached. However, I have been a therapist for a lot of years.
so that really, I mean, under the auspices of psychology, psychiatry, social work, all of those are really coaches. They just under a different definition. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how we can support you in spreading your message out into the world.
As of November, I guess, I became a provisional certified life mastery consultant, life coach. So I can take clients. I get fully certified after a 6-day intensive in March. I am going to be, at that point, able to coach in 5 different programs. Right now, I'm doing the Dream Builder program. It is a really good starter one because it goes over all of those spiritual principles, kind of universal principles that is so important in being able to create the lives that we really love. So the first thing I normally do, because not everybody's appropriate for coaching, is invite somebody to attend a Zoom Vision Workshop. I'm going to have one on Wednesday, 6:00 Mountain Time. If anybody's interested, just give me, contact me and I'll send you the Zoom link. I also then offer giving 30 minutes of one-on-one time about what the person's dream is and what the next steps would be. Because like I said, not everybody is a really good coaching perspective. The Vision Workshop gives you a good idea as to the spiritual principles involved. And you actually get 6 strategies that you can use to start working on your dreams now. And those are some that things like paying attention to what you're paying attention to. Notice what you're noticing.
Yes.
Things like being very specific about what your dream is, as opposed to just kind of a general, I want something better. Well, what would you love? And that's not the same for everybody.
That's awesome. When I was taking Mary's class, and I remember her saying something, about a dream, and I'm paraphrasing, but a dream really doesn't do you any good as long as it's in your head.
Right.
The whole idea is about to manifest the desires of your heart. And in order to be able to do that, you need to get your dreams out of your head and into fruition.
Right.
But so often, we're afraid to really failure. We're afraid we're going to fail. And if we fail at something, that we will never recover from that. Where most people don't understand that failure is still an opportunity. I say it's just a mistake setting you up for a retake. But so many people, and I think that's where coaching is so important because, we were talking before we came on the air, when you have like a football coach, the coach doesn't cut you from the team because you fumble the ball. The coach just talks to you about how you can do it better the next time. And I think that's what's so significant. Yes?
Well, yes. And you mentioned earlier about do I really have to pay for it? The cost of it is part of what keeps you engaged.
Amen.
Lots of people will read a book. It's great information, and they don't do anything about it past the first day. But they don't have any real buy-in. So actually having some investment in it financially helps keep you motivated. And then the other thing that helps keep you motivated is seeing somebody, your coach, every week so that you can't just say without a lot of discomfort, oh, I didn't get to the assignments this week. So having somebody to keep you accountable for it,
Accountable.
keep
Yeah.
you engaged too. We
Yeah.
have paradigms, and the paradigms will kick in, and we'll just tell ourselves, oh, well, it's not that important, or I'm not going to be able to do it anyway, or that's awfully risky, I don't want to fail. And so yeah, there have to be some things that keep you moving toward that dream, or else you're just going
Mhm.
to give up. The
Yeah.
paradigms are going to kick in, and you don't always know what your paradigms are. It can
Mhm.
be really helpful to have somebody else point them out to you.
Yeah. So give us an idea is, what a coaching session would or consult. If someone is trying to determine if, in fact, they need a coach
Mhm.
or they want to become a coach, how do you discern or differentiate between which would be which? With your background, for example, your background would automatically, in my mind, align you with becoming a coach. However, someone that's never been a coach and wants to coach other people or wants to do, I have so many people that say to me, Reverend Manning, I want to do what you do,
Yeah.
but they don't really know what I do. They see the surface of what I do and they don't know what goes in to the depths of that.
Yeah.
So
And
how
what
would you?
you have invested.
Yes. Oh, people, if they only knew, and I'm sure you can attest to it, Michael can and Gordon can too. It ain't cheap working for the Lord.
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say the first thing I'd be looking for is, does somebody have an idea as to what their dream is?
Hmm.
And uh, some of those people may be saying, I really want to help people. They're kind of already in a mindset of the principles. And so those may be people that actually would be interested in becoming coaches. Most
Hmm.
of the people aren't so much interested in that. They're wanting to, you know, make more money or have a better relationship with somebody, or feel some purpose in life with their art, or something. So we look at what their goals are, what their dreams are,
Hmm.
and whether they're actually ready to do coaching.
Hmm.
I talked to somebody a few weeks ago that has had coaching before, but she really feels like she'd like to try that stuff first, and she
Hmm.
can achieve her goal, and okay, then that's what she needs to go do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they may suggest, well, you might want to try this book or listen to this video or whatever, but not everybody's ready for coaching.
Well, I think that's awesome because I think giving a consult, giving people an opportunity to find out, because like you said, coaching isn't for everybody. Being a coach isn't for everybody.
Right.
But I strongly, in anyone that is especially in a spiritual genre or in the evolution of where we are now as a species, I
Hmm.
highly recommend, whether it is a coaching program in your church or mastermind group, which is really big in unity, when you just have a prayer part, someone that is accountable to you. And I think there's a definition of coach that is a whole lot more than just saying the word coach. It's much,
Yeah.
much more than that. I think Michael has a question for you.
Hi, Novella.
Hi.
So, one of the things that I notice, especially with people that go ahead and they put up their shingle about life coaching,
Hmm.
is that sometimes the coaching is amateur therapy.
Yeah.
And so, my question is, what is the difference between coaching and therapy? And how do you know that you're with a life coach and not doing this kind of amateur therapy?
Yeah. Well, and because I'm a therapist, I have a couple of clients that I see in Missouri. I'm not licensed anyplace else. So I have to be especially careful about making sure I'm not doing therapy. And so the structure of the dream building and the life mastery is specific enough that we're sticking within those confines. So maybe one week we're talking about forgiveness. And I don't need to hear about everything that happened to them to be able to guide them into the importance of being able to forgive, and how having that resentment stops the flow of abundance in whatever form into your life, and some strategies for being able to let go of that. So there's specific structure that is around the coaching.
So, okay. So as far as, so this is how I understand coaching. So therapy goes, when they see you as a therapist, they're going back and they're saying, okay, these things happened in my past, or they're affecting my present. We need to go back and heal that.
Mhm.
But coaching, what I've gotten from reading a couple of books, is that coaching takes you from where you're at and goes ahead and then get you in the direction of where you want to go, rather than going back and rehashing the past. So what's your comment about that kind of
As a
scenario?
therapist, I did some energy work that did not require people telling me all about, the horrors that happened, and focus on the future. That's not true, I don't think, of most therapists. But we don't go into the details with coaching as to what happened. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody has had something happen in their lives that wasn't good. And there's a spiritual principle about being grateful in all things, as opposed to just being grateful for things. We're
Mm.
grateful for things when things go our way, but sometimes the biggest blessings happen when things are not going our way,
Amen.
and that helps us transform to a higher level. So being able to identify the hurt that happened from being hurt in whatever way, and how that can be the very thing that helps you grow, can be part of coaching that probably would not come up in therapy, or at least not at the beginning.
Well, my thing was, because I have had coaches, and I also have a therapist.
Hmm.
So I'm able to differentiate between the two, because I had a tremendous amount of healing work, past healing work. And I've come to realize that, from age 1 to 7 is where we create most of our thought processes
Hmm.
on our values, our worthiness, and regardless of the environment you come from, you take those into your present, and then they are projected into your future. Well, I had therapy to help me deal with those unresolved issues,
Hmm.
and still have a therapist,
Hmm.
but I also have a coach that, once I make these what's the word I'm trying to think, commitments, out of moving, like you said, the forgiveness work is the coaching mechanism, I think, that keeps you out from reverting back to your past hurt. The
Hmm.
therapist helps you identify those things. A
Hmm.
coach actually gives you a game plan, and this is my
Hmm.
understanding, gives you a game plan and kind of keeps you on track so you don't revert back to that. And
Hmm.
that's how I'm able to differentiate between the two. My coach helps me with my spiritual work to keep
Yeah.
me focused and on point. My therapist helps me with my physical work. So my on earth work as opposed
Mhm.
to my in heaven work.
Okay, that's an interesting distinction. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I just think it's so significant. It's so important that we be able, and the fact that you are able to do both of those things. And even though you're not licensed in New Mexico as of yet, I still see the significance of your being able to identify the needs of your clients, rather, as Michael was saying, rather they are in need of therapy or if they're in need of coaching. Yes.
Yeah, and I find that the people that are the best match for coaching are actually functioning at a higher level. They already are taking responsibility to some extent, maybe a very high extent, for what is being created in their life. They may not know how to change it yet.
Yes.
But they do have a sense of, this is what I've caused.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of people that I saw in therapy that they didn't get that. They just felt victimized. And so they would not be appropriate for coaching until they can get to the point where they see that they have responsibility,
yes.
even if it's to the extent that now I got to figure out how to change it.
Yes. And that, I think that's the key component there, the desire to change, heal and change. And then you can actually move into, from a therapeutical kind of thing into a coaching kind of thing, or life mastery kind of thing. And we have, and again, I just think it's so significant, having a coaching program, if for no other reason than to be able to say, I dropped the ball this week, coach, and the coach says, well, you need to build that spiritual muscle in this area or in that area. And I in my forgiveness book, I write about the O in forgiveness. It represents organizing your thinking. You need tools to be able to do that, and just reading a book isn't it. I mean, it's great, but even your interpretation of what that means is, so I just think that, and I'm excited about that. We're going to take a break in a couple minutes, but I wanted to ask you, what would a consultation with a client, if one of our listeners wanted to get in touch with you, and I know that we're in a different time zone, but believe it or not, our show is Michael, is it produced out of Colorado? So we're on Mountain. We're actually on Eastern time here, but we broadcast out on Mountain time. So is that right, Michael? He must have gone to get a drink of water. He does that. When I start talking, he'll sometimes. Here he is. You go get a Coca-Cola?
No. Yes, Dr. Manning, we are on Mountain Time, and yes, that's. But we broadcast all over the nation and the world from there.
Yeah, that's right. So anyone that was interested in having a consultation with you, you say it's 30 minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
They can do it by phone or by Zoom.
Okay, cool. All right.
And it's free. And I would just need them to, contact me, and then I'll contact them and we'll figure out a time to do it.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will come back and we'll let you go into and tell us a little bit about what that consultation will be about. How about that? Okay. This is Sunday Evening Masterclass with Dr. Charlette here on the New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience? Or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
Center for Spiritual Living Denver for your continued support. Thank you Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta for your monthly contribution. Thank you Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you Center for Spiritual Living Seattle for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Heckerland Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ogden, thank you for your very generous donation. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
Yeah, we are back. We are back. We are back. Okay, so let's see. He's asking me talk more about her class next week. Yeah, and I had actually pulled this up on my phone because I was looking at the Vision program that you're going to be doing next week.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved in that. Is there a charge for that program?
Nope, it's free. Just need to email me that you're interested, and I'll send you the link.
Okay.
It runs about an hour and 15 minutes. Lots of PowerPoints. It's actually titled "The Power of Vision: 3 Keys to Mastering Your Success," I think or results. Mastering your results, I think it is. But there are actually 6 strategies that are included. And so I offer some things that people can use right off the bat that will help them create some of the things that they're wanting to create.
I think this would be a great opportunity for people that have been thinking about coaching or deciding if they need a coach as well. This would be a great, in fact, I want also our listeners, if in fact you want to connect with Novella, you have her information here, and you can also go to my website, or you can email me at Michael will put up the email information, and we will make sure that you get any interested information. We'll put it out to our network too, that they might be interested. Absolutely. Listen, anytime we are trying to do uplift this where we are right here, right now, I say let's go for it. The pie doesn't get smaller, the pie gets bigger. The more we help each other, the better we all are for that. So you can contact Michael, you can contact me, or you can contact Novella. Anybody that's interested, and I would highly recommend. So can you give us some dates, and when is this again?
The next one is going to be this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain. And just check the website, and from the website you can go to the Facebook page, and I put on there whenever there's a new vision workshop that I'm going to have.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. Michael, did you want to come in and have any info to that?
No, I'm good. I'm just so the power of your so that is free this week. So to get into that free call, though, you're going to have to get a hold of Novella through her email here, and then she will send you the link. Now, what time is it again, Novella?
It's 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
So that's 8
o'clock our time.
8 o'clock Eastern, right. Yeah. And so if people are interested, again, this is free, Okay. And Novella is going to be giving some life-changing tips that you can go ahead and you can use right after the seminar. So again, if you just if you email, and I'll put the email address back up again, email Novella and she'll send you the link for this week. It's going to be what, about an hour? Is that correct, Novella?
I seem to run about an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, real good.
And if you
All
send
the
me the link, you send me the link, I'll put it up on my Facebook page as well. So is this the Vision Workshop that you're doing?
Yeah, this is the Vision Workshop. From that, I offer a clarity session. And then the class, if we do coaching together, runs 12 weeks. And it's an hour of actual coaching plus some audios and meditations with Mary and life work. Things you have to go in and figure out, what do I think? What do I want to do?
There's so many different avenues, those 4 templates that they also use, as far as the 4 tenets, I think she called it, that I'm trying to find it on here, health and well-being, love and relationships. I mean, this will even give you the opportunity to see, because even within a coaching program, you also want to be able to identify what area of coaching you want to specialize in. Yes?
Yeah, there is the 4 quadrants are health and wellness, relationships, vocation or expression in the world, so it isn't necessarily career, and time and money freedom. And we're making results in all of those. Now, some of them we may like and some we don't like. And so you can kind of figure out which one you want to focus in on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I think that it is so relevant again right now. So many people via COVID. I've always said, COVID to me has been a blessing in many, many different ways, because so many people that were in those jobs and those have just had a job. They just went to work to make money, and we're not fulfilled, are now being able, since COVID really locked everybody in for almost 2 years, people started to look at home-based businesses, and a lot of those programs have developed. Those coaching programs have developed because, I'm talking to you in New Mexico. Michael is in a disclosed location in the Ohio area. I can't tell you where he is, but he is in, so you can communicate. I did a talk with, as I said, Laura Popper in the UK last week. So we're able to connect and communicate and share our things. Now it's such a gift and such a blessing. You can now do what you want to do, as opposed to what you had to do for so many years.
Well, and I think that having the opportunity to figure out what actually does give you life and your expression in the world. Some people still have a job that's just a job, but people have realized that life is so much more than that. And now they're looking for how can they most express themselves in the world? Or this is not a job I want. What do I want? What would make me love my life?
Make my heart sing.
Yep.
I think people are finally coming to the realization that, so many people lost their jobs or were not called back to their job. My position, I worked in the hotel industry. My position was eliminated, but I had to go back and think to myself, and my coach actually brought this up to me and said, how long have you been talking about retiring from that job? How long? When you put it out there, the universe it'll make it happen. It may not happen the way you think it's going to happen, but the freedom that I now have to be able to do, to write, to coach, to speak, to do all the things I really love to do. I think more and more people, they just need someone to help them take that first step, or to be able to say, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And believe that they are so much more than we have been ever led to believe that we are. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. But
Yeah.
when we start really connecting with the idea of just how amazingly awesome every one of us is, and that we have
Mhm.
so much more potential, then things start opening up.
Well, we're going to talk to your husband in a couple of weeks. Next week, I have my Valentine show because the Super Bowl is on February the 13th. I had to do my Valentine show next February the 6th. Is that next week? Yeah, February the 6th. I think, or do I have Gordon next week? Who
No,
do
the
I have next?
20th. I
The
think you have
20th.
them on the 20th.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the Homo agapian, which I think is so, I really, that resonates so clearly for me.
Yeah.
So, it's really been in my spirit to create a, I don't even know. I don't want to call it a school or a university or a thought system collaboration with thinkers. When I worked for Marianne had her circle. She had Deepak, she had Wayne Dyer, she had Neil Donald Walsh, she had Jean Houston, she had Oprah, and in all of that, everybody has their segment, and everybody's not a general. You got to have you got to go to basic training. You got to have coaches and trainers in basic training and all of that. And I'm trying to visualize, and Michael and I have talked about, through Holmes Institute and Center for Spiritual Living and that kind of thing, how we can develop that. And I think this New Thought Media Network is an outlet. It's an opportunity for us to bring like-minded people together. So I want you guys seriously to be thinking about that, because we do want to bring you into this so that more people have an opportunity to really live their life purpose. To really be able to identify what it is that they want to be, what would make their heart sing, and how they can go out in the world and make a difference.
Excuse me.
Go ahead. Huh?
We've spent so much time surviving and just getting by. And it is, if we as a humanity are to survive, we have got to get into thriving mode. And that requires us to figure out what it is that makes us happy. What is it that we would love to do? What makes us sing? And in order to do that, we have to look at those paradigms. We have to change the way we're thinking. And because the way we've been thinking has been just getting by.
Yep. And I think one of the things that stuck with me with Mary for many, many, many years, Mary Morrissey, is she said, do you want to be a weed or you want to be a seed? Well, and the one that thrives the most is the one that gets the most attention.
Yeah.
And we know a weed can break through concrete.
Yep.
So the whole idea is really being able to identify what those things are. So I'm so excited to be able to connect with you and how we can collaborate together on building this Homo agapian network, where we can create, mold, and focus on the expanding consciousness of the I am that we are. Because I agree with you, Novella. We are so much more powerful than we know, or that we even give ourselves credit for.
Right.
When you think that you survived through all of this and you're still here, that means you still got work to do.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. Michael, can you come back in here for a minute? What do you think about this? Yeah.
Oh, I think it's absolutely wonderful. And again,
I think
you'll learn a lot if you go on the Zoom call.
Well, I'm going to. So Novella, you're going to send me a link, and I'm going to send Michael a link, and we can put it out in our networks, and we'll help support you with that and see what happens. And do you do it more? How often do you do it?
Actually, I'm doing one on Tuesday morning, but I think I'm just going to to let that one stay the way it is, and then I'll do at least another one next week. I try to do them at different times, but and I can coach anywhere in the world, so I may do like one in the morning or one in the afternoon. Put a few out there.
Well,
so I'll send you those links too.
Well, if you let us know, we'll do our best to get the word out here, because I think this would be it's free, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
It's an hour of your time. If nothing else, you'll learn that it's not for you as opposed to it being for you. But who knows? I said, my grandfather always told me as a kid, you can learn something from a dummy. Yes. He said, there's always something that you have that you can learn from someone, no matter who they are, what they're
powerful spiritual tools, regardless of whether you decide to coach with me. They are still valuable spiritual tools.
Yeah. I just love that whole homo agapian. That just so resonates for me. So I am so thrilled. I don't know if your husband's in the room or not, but oh, he's in it. Well, you just tell him we are thrilled and excited about him coming back on. I'm going to ask you to look at your calendar for March is Women's History Month. So I would love to have you back on with us, and we can talk a little bit more about this, because I think it's important too sometimes we have to specialize in areas, and I'm an equal opportunity minister. I talk to anybody that will listen, but I really do want to focus and emphasize the energy around women. I believe that we are now in the age of Aquarius, which is a feminine energy. We are in this number 2 century is the century of the divine feminine. We are now in 22. So we are looking at 222. So we have some real heavy duty feminine energy, midwifery work to do this year. So I really want to focus a lot of time, energy, and attention on women's issues and working with women. So look at your calendar and see what we can get you all signed. Look on the calendar for March. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Michael, is there anything you want to add before we leave?
No. Except,
I think what do you think?
Go to ntmedia.org/donate.
Yes.
The financial contributions that people make to help us to have programs like this. So ntmedia.org, and guess what time it is?
It's almost time to go. Well, Novella, I want to thank you so much. And as Michael said, this network, this is what we do to get the word out. So we want to invite you to come back, and we want to ask you to please give all our best to Gordon. We love you, we appreciate you, and we behold Christ in you.
Thank you so much. It was very honored.
I can't wait to see you. Have a great night. This is Charlette at Sunday Evening Masterclass here on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Heckerland Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit. Thank you for your very generous donation. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.